How was that thumbnail? Love it, love it, love it. Hello guys, it's Zanele Njapha, the Unlearning Lady, and basically my YouTube channel is all about helping you to unlearn, helping you to change, helping you to transition. So if that's why you are here, then you're in the right place. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so that you can keep getting some of these great videos, and I'm planning to go live a lot more in the coming year. So make sure that you're subscribed so you know when that happens and we can have a conversation. Because all of my social media platforms are really just platforms for me to engage with you, to just really give away these great tools and tactics and strategies that you can start to apply to get better at changing, to get better at transitioning in a world that's consistently changing and just never stops. That leads us directly to today's video, or this particular video, and this one is all about screwing New Year's resolutions and cleaning out your closet. Yes, so not literally cleaning out your closet, but more, what do we do? What do we do before we start to aim, before we start to apply foresight? There are a few things we need to do, and it's really based on the idea of unlearning and clearing out our closets so that we can move forward better. Because I've heard so many people, when I speak about New Year's resolutions, I always just get people going, oh, New Year's resolutions, is that even still a thing? They don't work out. They just are not something to aspire to. Don't do New Year's resolutions. They're a farce, etc., etc. And I would love to hear if that's you. How has your history with New Year's resolutions been? Have you been successful with them? Have you found them really great, inspirational? Have you been taking them off at the end of the year as things that are done? Or what is it? How do they make you feel? What feelings do they generate in you? And so that's really what we're talking about today. Please make sure that you've subscribed, you like this video, you comment, let's engage. I promise to respond to each and every comment with some kind of conversation and engagement myself as well, because I want this to turn into a conversation that we can continue to grow. And also, if you'd like to engage a lot more with me and my content and really to start your unlearning journey and kick it off, you want to get better at changing, at being adaptable, please head over to my website, zanelenjapha.com/resources, where you'll find a really great free goodie I call Hack Your Transition. It's a free guide that you can download on there. What's also on there you'll find on my website is that I've got a mentorship program that I've started. If you want to be a part of that, please do join us. There's limited space, but I would love to have you for a 6-week long change journey. Okay, now let's jump right into why I say screw New Year's resolutions and clean out your closet. So why New Year's resolutions? Okay, now I have nothing against New Year's resolutions. As a matter of fact, I actually really like them. I really love New Year's resolutions. They've been super good to me. I do them every year. I write them down and then I look at them every now and again because they're a plan. And if you watch the previous video, link is now on your screen. If you watch the previous video, I'll also put the link in the comments about plans being ruined. You know that I'm a big planner. Now, New Year's resolutions are exactly that. They're like a plan. But what happens is we find ourselves in situations where we're going, okay, it's not working out. By probably like March or February, we're really starting to notice that it's not working out. So what's the problem? Why is it that those New Year's resolutions always end up falling on their faces? Now let's start here. 2 things about New Year's resolutions that I want to tell you. The first one is a good one. Yay. And that's that New Year's resolutions are created with good intentions. Yay, sticker for you if you've ever done New Year's resolutions. They're created with good intentions because the intentions behind any kind of resolution that we make at the beginning of a starting period or any kind of beginning that we're about to kick off are really good, because they're based on hindsight, looking at how things have gone in the future and any kind of hopes and aspirations that we have for the future. So they're good intentions when you create New Year's resolutions, and don't put yourself down for actually doing them. It's an indication that you as an individual, us as a team, want to go somewhere different. We want to chart a path of newness, of something different. And we're using our experiences, we're using insights we've drawn from the past to help us to do that. I respect New Year's resolutions. So if you've done them, high five to you, high five to me, because I do them every single year. I'm not saying do it, but high five to me because I do them every single year, and to you who tries them every now and again as well. And the second thing, which is not so great about New Year's resolutions, is that when you set any kind of goal or resolution in this case, you're actually working against yourself. Or as I say, you're actually screwed from the start. It's not going to work. Well, chances are it's not actually going to work. And here's why. When you and I set any kind of goal that seems overwhelming, seems big, seems glossy, seems exciting, our brain is wired to protect us, so it will always remind you of things in the past, situations in the past, goals in the past that you've set that haven't worked out. You probably know that this is definitely the case. If you've set a goal, you say, I want to lose 10 Ks by the end of the year, and this and this and this is how I'm going to do it, you will feel that pang or that feeling that goes, remember last year when you tried that and it didn't work? So that's what our brains do. Because they're wired to protect you and I, to sense any kind of threat around the things that are happening around us and the things we're doing to ourselves, they will always tell you why it's not going to work out, what you can do differently, and that you need to protect yourself by not trying it at all. And this is why change is so difficult, because neuroplasticity means that you and I get wired according to what we consistently do. And if your goals haven't worked out for the past 5 years, your brain is already telling you that it's not going to work out, not just because of your experience, but because it's been hardwired that way. I know that sounds really bad, but here's the good part. As much as I want to advise you to screw New Year's resolutions, the one thing that I do want to encourage is that we clean out our closets. Now, what does that actually mean in this context? Now, cleaning out your closet means 2 different things, and here's what they are. All right, when you clean out your closet, it means you do this. Take out all of your lists from the past years, if you still have them. Take out any kind of goals you've ever written down. I know I have a bunch that are in different places, different notebooks. Take all of those out and have a look at them. Or even ask people that have known you to have certain goals, what some of those goals have been, and really gather as much of those as you possibly can. This exercise is really about helping you and I to apply some kind of not just hindsight, but also introspection before we start to shoot forward, because you and I really don't take stock of why these New Year's resolutions haven't worked. But what we keep doing is that each and every single year you keep piling on the goals and you keep failing at them. Not always, but unfortunately this is the case with most of us. So once you've taken all of these goals, you've gathered them up, you're going to ask yourself 2 different things. You're going to look at 2 different things. The first one, was this goal positioned in a way that made it seem achievable to me? Now, this one's very important, guys, because when we set goals, like let's go back to the 10K one, losing 10K for the year. Now, when you look at that goal, what happens is that your brain goes, this is too much for me to achieve, and it shuts that down. And it says, no ways, it's not possible. Because when something is large and it seems overwhelming, then your brain doesn't want to support you in doing it because it's trying to save you energy. Now, what you should have done, so you're going to look at these goals and see, do they actually make me feel like I can achieve them? I know when I look back at some of my goals, there's this feeling of, oh, Zanele, really girl. But what we want is for them to really evoke a feeling of, oh my goodness, I can actually do this when we read them or when we look at them. Now, how do you do that? The way that I always advise in my LEAP principles is E. It's part of this acronym LEAP. Please let me know if you want to know more about the LEAP. The LEAP framework, would be happy to do a video on it. But the LEAP framework, the E in that framework is easy, edible chunks. It's all about making your goals so simple, so easy that when you look at them or when you hear about them, you instantly feel like you can do them. And that is what actually gets these things done. If you look at people who achieve their New Year's resolutions every year, it's because they've actually broken those New Year's resolutions up into goals that they can actually put in their everyday to-do lists. So when you look at it on your to-do list on a daily basis, you don't go, where do I even start? But because you've broken it up into easy, edible chunks, you instantly go, oh my goodness, hell, I can do this. And so that's really what you want. Cool. Now, the second thing you're going to do as you look at this list is you're going to ask yourself, was my environment supporting or impeding the achievement of this goal? Did it support me? If you look at the goal that you set, did I position my environment, the people around me, everything that's around me, the tools, the strategies, in a way that supports me? A really great example of how our environments play a huge role in the changes we want to make. Think about if you want to read a certain book. You want to read this book, maybe 10 or so pages per day, but the book, or your bookshelf rather, is right on the top of the cupboard, let's say. I know the chances are really low, but let's just say for example's sake, that it's right at the top of the cupboard. And you have to literally get on a ladder every single time you want to grab the book. That environment is an environment that creates friction and doesn't support, but rather impedes the achievement of the goal, because your brain is going, oh, I have to put in so much work to get this done. I don't think so. And then eventually you don't actually get it done. You want to make sure that the environment supports, but not just supports, guys. You want to make sure that the environment almost pushes you to get that thing done. It's like putting that book that you want to read open on your bedside table or right on top of your pillow, so that you have no choice but to touch it as you move it off to go to bed. So as soon as you put your hands on it to move it, you have to read at least one page. And that's the easy part as part of that LEAP framework, easy edible chunks. Cool. So I hope that made some sense and you can apply it. Remember, let's start cleaning out our closets before we shoot forward into making New Year's resolutions this 2021, which is going to be an absolutely awesome year. And I hope that you've set those goals and you've set those plans in place, and remember to be flexible about them. Go back to that video that I posted not so long ago about plans being ruined. Remember to be flexible about your methods and your execution about your plans, but not necessarily the goal itself. The goal can stay still, but the plans and how to get there can absolutely change. Cool. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also have a look at me on other social media platforms. Would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Have a look at my Instagram as well as my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. See you soon.